Steam, free-to-play, and Oculus news. This is WSGF News.
Welcome back, guys. Chris, as always.
I'm Simon, in one piece still.
Glad you're back.
Glad I'm back.
If you
Glad
don't
you're
know,
back. Glad you're back.
Well, I had a crisis at work come up one weekend, and then the following weekend, Simon got into a very crazy accident. So we had a couple of lapses there. We also had some technical issues with episode 7. My computer lost a hard drive, so we're back for number 9?
No, because 9 was my solo last week.
Oh, right, 10.
So 10.
All right.
Yeah, 9 was the one I popped some pain pills and
Sucked it up.
Sucked it up. Man up, Chief.
So if you thought Simon was a little loopy last episode, it was because he was...
Yeah. We have some news with Steam.
Yeah, apparently this is a crazy report.
So there's a report I read about Steam saying that we've gone, five months into the year already? At this point in 2014, there have been more games released on Steam and sold on Steam than the entirety of 2013.
That's pretty crazy.
That's a lot of games. That's a lot.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through, and we've already hit the mark from last year.
Yeah, surpassed last year.
Yeah, and something interesting to think about is kind of related, but kind of not. Microsoft just started releasing the Xbox without the Kinect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really a big console guy, and we're not really trying to go off on a console discussion here. But what I think that is a symptom of is PC gaming is gaining a lot of traction.
Yeah.
And I think the console guys are really playing catch up, and they're doing everything they can to keep up. And I think, when the Xbox was released, they said we're never going to sell the Xbox without the Kinect. And now they're selling the Xbox without the Kinect. And I think that's partly, probably because PlayStation 4 is doing a lot better, relatively speaking. But I also think that's a big part of Steam.
Yeah.
I think PC is kicking ass and taking names.
I mean, we talked. I think we talked about that news report about how PC gaming is taking off.
Yeah.
The quarter sales and all that. And we talked about Greenlight games a couple weeks ago and the good and benefit to Greenlight. And so we're seeing all this. Yeah. There's a lot of indie games coming out, but there's a lot of good indie games coming out. Especially we were talking about earlier.
Oh, Transistor.
Which
is the guys that did Bastion, which was like this crazy successful, really fun game for Steam and Xbox, is coming out pretty soon for Steam as well, PC, and I think it's going to sell ridiculous again, and I think that's, I really do think Steam is, and not only Steam but just PC in general is paving the way for the future. I think that's where it's going. PC. Everyone thought PC gaming was dead, and I think it's alive and well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole accessibility thing of it. I know, if I remember correctly, going back to the Xbox One, how there's certain things that are region locked.
Yeah.
And so you really don't have to deal with too much region lock. I know, like there's some things with like Australia, other countries, where games are censored a certain way, or games are just set at a high price, but they're still accessible.
Yeah, and I think the digital download system is another thing. We don't have to worry about
hard copies
and discs, and that Steam has made sharing so much better and easier. We've got the Steambox platform. Now they've got the, you can build a relatively cheap gaming system and stream your games from anywhere in your household. I
mean, speaking of like all the hard copy stuff, and this is weeks ago, but there was a report on GameStop changing their model on how it's going to be like PC phones and stuff like that.
Right, they're going in more... They're
like peripherals sort of thing.
Peripherals and like and tablets and cell phones, and they're getting out of...
And so, you think GameStop, you think consoles.
Yeah.
And there's a company right there that based their entire business model on consoles.
And I think they're realizing it's
like
going
out.
away.
This is not working.
I mean, look at Blockbuster. Blockbuster's gone because of videos. Netflix has destroyed Blockbuster. I think Steam is eventually going to destroy, companies like GameStop who do physical distribution of games, because we won't need it eventually. We'll be downloading everything, which is good.
Headshot. Go Steam.
Right. The consoles do have a way to catch up. You can. I know with PS4. I don't know with Xbox. I think you can, but you can still download the games the day they come out. But it's a little bit more limited. It's not as intuitive to share, and we'll see what happens. But this is a pretty crazy report that we're only 5 months in and we've already surpassed 2013. That's crazy. We don't even have all the good games yet for the year, right? There's still Call of Duties to be made and
Advanced Warfare, I think, was released.
Yeah, I mean,
that trailer release was Kevin Spacey.
Tons of stuff that still hasn't come out yet this year. You know, we've got all the big November holiday games, and I can't imagine what the numbers are going to be. But
PC gaming, saving the economy.
So if you guys have played Dota 2 or know about free-to-play games in general, Dota 2 should probably be on your radar, but it's one of the biggest competitive esports as well as one of the biggest free-to-play games there is on Steam. And big news, the International will be here in about 2 months. They're already doing the qualifiers. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest esport right now. Maybe StarCraft's bigger, I'm not sure, but the big news about that is that I think they just surpassed $5 million on their compendium. What they're doing is they're selling this item in game called a compendium, and it allows you to basically get a lot of free items really rapidly. You get skins and models, and you gain extra experience in the game and stuff. And it's only like $10, but they have like milestones. They have like a little bar that fills up as people buy more compendiums. And they have milestones, you know, $1 million here, $1.5 million here, $2 million here, 2.5 million, etc. And they actually got past $5 million, which I think the $5 million mark was a new game mode. They've actually, with $5 million, they will add a 1v1 mid-only game mode. So this is a big deal.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, so Dota is totally free to play, right? The only things you pay for are compendiums every year when you want to support the game and support these esports players. You can buy skins for the characters that just change the looks. You can also buy these little like banners. Like when the esports stuff really picks up, you can actually buy a banner for your team if you want to like wave it for them. It's like $1 or something. This is genius in my opinion. This is the best, craziest business model ever. You get everyone to play your core game. You promote the hell out of it. I mean, Valve pretty much pitches in $1 million or $1.5 million of their own money towards the tournament. Okay. So these guys are already guaranteed a huge pot. And then they say, okay, community, if you want to make the pot bigger for these guys, here's how you do it. You get free items out of the game. You support your favorite team. You pay $10. I mean, this is the NFL of video games. I mean, it really is. I mean, if you saw the Dota 2 documentary, you know these guys are paid a lot of money. And they're sponsored like crazy. This is a really, really big deal, and you know I'm going to be looking forward to doing the International. I'm going to have a little party, like a Super Bowl party here with friends and stuff, and we're all going to watch it. The announcers, I don't know if you've ever watched the Dota 2 announcing, but the announcers are literally like sports announcers. They're great. You can follow along perfectly. They keep the action going.
That makes me wish I would have stuck with esports. You know. I've talked to you before. I used to do the whole NS radio thing.
Right.
And I stopped doing that because I was like, I'm going to concentrate on college work. No, that was a dumb idea.
College.
Why would I do something like that?
College
That's so ridiculous. And then it's like esports like booming.
Yeah, and I really esports is getting to be a big deal. And I really think, and this translates in any game. I was just like 2 weeks ago, I was at a Smash Brothers tournament, and I was just talking to some guys about Smash Brothers and Nintendo. And when Brawl came out, Nintendo refused to make Brawl a competitive game and acknowledge the esport. They actually tried to take it down during the last tournament. And now with this new Smash Brothers coming out, they've actually embraced the competitive community. They make a competitive mode. They're now supporting Smash Brothers Melee in the new tournament that's coming up. The whole point of that conversation is, if you're a game maker and you promote your game well and you make a competitive esport, that's like turning your game into gold.
Yeah.
It will literally print money. If competitive esports is how to get everyone, because you can have the casual players who like watching the competitive players. You can have the real competitive people try to make their way up. I mean, it attracts all audiences. I think that's what the same allure to sports is. People watch the NFL and the NBA because they envision these great players, they idolize them. Then they go out to 24-hour fitness and they play basketball or football for fun. Like I said, it's a great way to get your game out there.
The esports model's so great. Then you've tacked on the free to play, like legitimate free to play. This isn't free to win for all these things you can buy. Legitimate free to play.
And you're at the same level of everyone
else, and people just want to throw money.
It's great. And there's Unreal.
Yeah, and I talked about last week. Unreal's taking that same mindset, same view. Unreal Tournament 4 is going to be completely free. It's a community effort.
I think that's the way to go.
It's genius.
If they promote it as an esport and it's free to play and they do the same model as Dota 2, you're going to 2 years from now, a year from now, I guarantee you're going to be hearing about Unreal tournaments and crazy, Twitch shooters coming back out, and I think they'll be able to print money just like the way that Dota prints money. It'd be great.
It's so.
Yeah.
Now's the time. I mean, this is a great time to be a gamer. Free games,
absolutely.
But
and a great esports community. Nothing excites me more as a gamer than to have professional players and professional announcers and be able to watch it in a professional setting and look at the best of the best players and be like, wow, these guys are at the top of their level. I mean, that's really what makes me want to play some of these games, is like, these guys are destroying everyone. Let me go play and see how well I do. I want to be like these guys. You'll never will be, but it's still fun to think about.
I can do it. I don't know, but it's a great model. I mean, it's great to see these things just coming and growing and furthering. I said, it's a great time to be.
It kind of explains, why in our earlier segment why PC gaming has gotten so good in just 5 months.
And it's I think we talked about this weeks back, but like really how to do free to play. It's not free to win or anything like that.
Right.
These are great ways to set up systems in order to both benefit the player who wants to play and not maybe spend a lot of money, and the developer who wants to get paid for making it.
Yeah.
Rightly so. Yeah,
it's definitely a good balance. I think you're right.
So Oculus just hired a former art director from 343 Studios, which you'll know, Halo, all the Halo games. And he was also former employee of id. Mr. Kenneth Scott, onto their Oculus team. And he's going to be heading up their first party content team.
Cool.
So starting to, they develop the hardware. Now they're going to start looking at software too, which is really exciting. It's like, this is what we've envisioned, kind of set a standard or a, what's it called?
Benchmark?
Benchmark, yeah, thank you. For what they think this technology can do.
Cool.
Really, really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, those guys over there, they recruit the best of the best, and there's a reason why the Oculus is doing so well right now, because they've got those guys pretty
locked down.
Yeah, I mean,
it's and they've like we've talked about weeks ago, they secured that funding, getting bought out by Facebook. So they've got the Zuckerbucks behind them.
Did you see? So there was a video of a guy who used 3 Kinects.
Oh
in
yeah,
an Oculus Rift.
Okay.
And basically, he used the Kinects to get his image of his body
kind of rendered
inside the game, and then he wore the Oculus to see himself. It was the craziest, it has to be the most immersive thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it was phenomenal. Like, he was talking about, he was in a chair and he was turning, and there was a leg of the chair, or the table, I'm sorry, and by instinct, obviously his foot would pass right through the table because it was a virtual table, it wasn't a real table. But his mind, while wearing the Oculus and having the Kinect draw his real body, I mean, it was like a real one-to-one. Like, he could move his hands, and it was like perfect. The latency was so low. I mean, it was
like
extremely
low quality image, but
the response time was extremely low. So like, it was almost a one-to-one. If he moved his fingers, it was instantly shown. Mm-hmm. It felt like that. But he would, he was moving his feet around, and he would just instinctively move them around the leg of the table.
I remember he would say, like, it's like, I can go through like this, and he shows himself going through. Yeah. But he's like, my brain physically hurts. Like, like I feel sick from doing it.
Because it's not supposed to go through the table. Just watching that video, I mean, it is so crazy. Like, VR technology is.
It's so exciting what's going to come up.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a point in time for sure where we can step into a holodeck and actually be inside of a reality with, looks totally different. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous.
That'll work out with that warp drive they keep talking about.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I keep saying it, but it's a great time to be a gamer right now. Seeing all these technologies come out, seeing all these things that they can do with the technologies.
Yeah, and they say that like Moore's law, everything doubles within 18 months and things like that. I mean, think about imaging and the Kinect. I mean, the guy in the video is using the Generation 1 Kinect. Mm-hmm. The camera technology, imaging technology, VR technology, the processing power that we can do. I mean, if it takes us 5 years to get a decent VR setup, think about what 10 years will do. If it's doubling every 18 months, it's going to be ridiculous in 10 years. We won't even be able to tell if we're in reality or not. Just
get me to a point where I can upload my brain to a computer. I'll be happy. That's what I got to survive for.
They say in like 50 years or something. We don't know.
I should be in my 70s.
Yeah. Well, they say
if I don't get another car accident.
Well, they say you'll never die too in 20 years. We'll have the cure for death. So. Well, we won't have the cure for killing yourself in a car accident.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can't do that.
But actually, we'll have self-driving cars. So, look, it all works out.
Mine self-drove into a barrier. I let go of the wheel. I was like, let Jesus take the wheel. Once again, this is WSGF News. Thanks for tuning in. I know we've been talking about Comicpalooza. Sadly, we're not going to be able to make it this week. Some stuff has come up with us and the booth and just our timing and everything. We thought we'd make it. We just want to apologize for any of y'all coming down that wanted to see the booth. It's not going to be there. Sorry. Like I said, just a lot of conflicting stuff with us. Logistical
problems.
Things happen. But, I mean, we'll be in the area.
And we are planning to attend other conventions with the equipment.
So when that happens, we'll let you know. But, I mean, like I said, we'll be in the area. So if you go to Comicpalooza, check out everything there. But if you want to hang out, hit us up on the main Twitter at WSGF, and we can see if we can get a gathering going. That'd be kind of cool.
More than likely, I'll probably be attending the event just as a spectator, if just to check out things. So if you do end up going and you want to find out information about the site or about the stands or about anything, just hit us up on Twitter. I'll probably be sending some tweets out from Comicpalooza, taking some pictures and stuff. I'll be glad to meet up with anybody who has any questions about the site, things like that.
But once again, I am Simon, also known as The Destroyer on the Widescreen Gaming Forum. You can hit me up on Twitter personally at The Destroyer FTW.
You can catch me on Twitter at ComputerLasco. You can also find us, the main Twitter is at WSGF. At
WSGF, yeah.
You can find us on Facebook.
The main site,
WSGF.org. And on our YouTube channel, which is where these podcasts are published. Be sure you
like, comment, and subscribe. We like to hear what you're talking about, even if it's negative. I mean, I won't cry too much.
We have, we're not very sensitive for our internet feelings. We'd really like to hear some comments, feedback, suggestions. Shoot us a tweet, shoot us a comment, whatever you want to say. Any thoughts on the channel or the site.
How are you feeling today? What do you think, Linda?
Even if you want to see Simon's crash videos, pictures. That's all. That's a cool thing.
They saw a couple. Like I said, I didn't cause it, and there's tail end. Maybe I'll have to send them to you and put them on the video just to prove that I got rear-ended. I wonder if I'm gonna be allowed to put up the video if they give me the dash cam video.
That would be cool.
Kind of cool, yeah. I don't know if I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it. But anyway, we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.